Hey guys, welcome to the Lit Mag Lab podcast, or welcome back, I should say. So if you missed it, I was talking about PDF flipbook readers. Yeah, so there are a lot of different ones out there today. I only covered, a handful of them, but yeah, I think it's so important that literary magazines, journals, and presses have, previews go out to contributors, authors, before it goes into print. And even there are a lot of literary magazines that are solely digital, or online, and there are a lot of platforms where you can make it much more interactive and bring inject more life into your publication, with some of the tools available to us today, available, thanks to technology. And yeah, so listen back to that episode. I typically sometimes drop, new ones in the description, or other ones may have forgotten, so check that back on the past episode. Yeah. So for this one, obviously you can see I'm on Chill Subs now. I think a lot of writers are aware of Chill Subs, but if you're new to it and you've never heard of it before, or you're looking for a way to find more places to to submit to, or a home for your work, Chill Subs is hands down like the go-to place for me, and I know a lot of other writers. And Duotrope's really awesome too, I must say, and Poets and Writers has a directory, but Chill Subs overall, I think, has really been phenomenal in establishing a lot of really helpful resources and centralizing that. I think it's so cool to see how much they've grown since 2022. I think that's when they started, right? Benjamin Davis and Karina Cup. I apologize if I completely mispronounce or botch any names, even of literary magazines or journals on this podcast again. But yeah, it was started back then, and yeah, so I'm just gonna like dive in here and share. So this is essentially a massive database, and you can filter through it, and it's really cool. So to date, we can see as of July 22nd, there are 3,685 literary magazines to date as of 2025 here. And yeah, so I think they also have like 300 plus indie presses, 700 plus contests, and 55,000 writers, and 200, over 200,000 submissions tracked. I think that's what it said on their homepage too. But that is really, think about it. That's a lot. That's really cool. So let me just do a quick tour around here, and I'm on their free tier, by the way, and I'll share what their other membership, options are, or plans, you can upgrade to. They sort of have like some bonus, content, or things you can get on the higher tiers. And yeah, so this is the filtering on the left hand side, and it is really cool because you can do, open for submissions. Let's see how many are open right now as of July 2025. So there are 1,680, and let's see how many are fee free right now and open. So there's about 1,460. And yeah, if you do this, how many have no fee overall, and they pay, you'll see that cuts it down quite a bit to 697. And not all of these are, necessarily open. Sometimes lit mags and journals, it's up to the founding editor to maintain the listings and to do upkeep on it, but sometimes others are able to note something, or submit something about a listing, right? Yeah, so the Chill Subs team can look at it. But yeah, so you can filter by theme calls too. And yeah, there aren't a lot out there that pay, and Chill Subs again doesn't have every single literary magazine or journal in existence listed here. There were two I submitted to recently that weren't in here, and yeah, so yeah, that happens from time to time, but for the most part, there's a bunch in here, and it's really cool. I enjoy reading about each literary magazine, the theme calls they have and how they started. It's very, very cool again. So yeah, you can do genre, and then pays, no fees, open, we can filter like that. And you can see 177. So this indicates, that it's open until that time, July 25th is the cutoff point. And sometimes these deadlines are extended by lit mags and journals, of course. But yeah, you can see the response time, whether there's payment and their followers, right? So there is a filter up here too, most followers, least followers, I can reset this and do this too to clear out my what I have here selected. So yeah, so you can do filters by that. If you're someone who uses social media a lot, and some of these lit magazine journals, they maintain social media accounts, right? So there's filters for active on social media and things like that. Recently opened, and yeah, you can see it filter by a lot. It's very 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 awesome again. Yeah, so there's some new ones here. I gotta check these out for sure. There's also, you can do filter by simultaneous submissions, which means, they let you submit to more than one place. Your work, that you're submitting to one place can be submitted to another place, and they're okay with that. You just have to tell them, whether typically if it's been accepted elsewhere before them, right? Wherever you're submitting to. Previously published, nominates for prizes, active on social media, available on in print, provides contributor copies, has examples online, has masthead info. Yeah, so these are all very important, especially has masthead info. I think it's important, that lit magazine journals are transparent about, who's behind the publication, who's running it, and yeah, and it's really good that there are examples, that others can read, see past issues, and things like that. You can also, filter by the year, a lit mag or journal is founded, and yeah, do demographics, no eligibility limitations. You can really filter and drill down further, and do a process of elimination with the filters, on what you're really looking for, which is really nice. So submission method, Subfolio is not in here yet. Dippity Litmag just moved over to Subfolio, but hopefully, once more join, they'll add it in here. For right now, we just choose other, but yeah, you can see, how many use, which one, so a lot of poets and writers, they're submitting through Submittable, right? And yeah, so you can see, but email too, so it's very helpful. Everyone has like their preferred way to submit, I guess, but it doesn't take too long to create an account on with Submittable or even Subfolio or some of the other ones, right? So yeah, and then you can do country, filter by that too. So let's see how many are, in the United States here. So I really love that Chill Subs is global, right? A global database, and you can come across so many. So you can see it changed there, right? 2,437, right? Based in the United States. And then let's do Canada. I'm just curious. How many in Canada are in here? 172, yeah. So, yeah, that's really cool. So, I think, without this, all these filtering and chill subs, the database, think about, before, you know, I think, before 2022, it's just, it's like finding a needle in the haystack kind of like situation, without these filtering options and everything. So they've done a really stellar job with the design of the site and everything. It's very user friendly, and I like it. It's a very clean search functionality. Now, I think I could be wrong. There's like a tier in their membership where you get, a yeah, where you unlock key search, keyword search. So I'm on the free tier right now, just showing you because that's typically how, most will, new to it will see it. So yeah, I'll go over the plans later perhaps. And yeah, let's use, we can use Dippity Lit Mag as an example, I guess. I don't mind. So Dippity Lit Mag here, we'll go here, and yeah. So you can see how many times Dippy Lit Mag was bookmarked here. And we have a little submission info. And this isn't accurate, the chill subs tracker stats. And that's mainly because not everyone has a chill subs account, right, that has submitted to us, right? Because we definitely had a way lower acceptance rate than that now. So yeah. So I think I really love that they allow editor reported data to be entered, but that's why it's so important, when you create your chill subs account, your writer profile, that you maintain, the tracker. And I'll cover the tracker. I don't mind sharing, what's in my tracker. There's just, I've been actually using it quite recently, quite a bit, to just get back into the gist of submitting for fun, from time to time. But yeah. So yeah, it helps, so think about it, the when you create a chill subs account, yeah, just stay on top of, track using the tracker. You have to get in the habit of doing that. It helps others when you enter your tracker stats, because then that acceptance rate that chill subs has recorded, for those who have it displayed, can be much more accurate, for others. But yeah, definitely, not a lot of poets who submitted to us track their acceptance rate, after, the submission decision. But yeah, and eventually that'll change, and so you can see we have our open calls here, and that's nice. It's very easy to set this up on the back end for editors. Really love that. And you can see accept simultaneous submissions, so accepts previous published. So there's an exception here, and it doesn't have the full details behind this, but we do allow at Dippy Lit Mag, social media poetry for our, for our Substack. And we do allow previously published short stories. I wish they would add that in there, allow accepts previously published short stories. So who knows? They may go in and add that one day. But yeah, it says requirements may vary. So you have to read, our guidelines very carefully on which categories I'll accept previously published. Yeah, so I hope, one day we can add notes a little bit further on that when others, hover, or even, I don't think you can click on this. Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere. So I hope one day we can like either click into that. There's more details to that rather than just a hover, because yeah, there's usually other it applies to certain things for some lit magazine journals like us. So yeah, masthead info has examples online, active on social media, right? There's fields there. Now, there's how to submit. Some of this is outdated again, but I haven't been able to update this portion yet, but I'm hoping. And our name has shortened down a little bit. But yeah, we still technically identify as Dippity Literary Magazine, just like going forwards. It's just shorthand, Dippity Lit Mag. And we discontinued reading fees at Dippity Lit Mag, so there's no more tier structure of just first time submitters. If you submit second, third, fourth time, fifth time to us, right? There's no reading fees at just Dippity Lit Mag. So yeah. So eventually we'll get that updated here. But yeah, some eligibility requirements. We accept writing from poets of all ages, and we just try to, emphasize that, we really want to highlight, underrepresented voices. So yeah, and yeah, so um what else can I show you around here? So you can see the categories here. This is like an additional note taking thing here. So, like if you, let's say you went on on our website or somewhere else, right, on a lit mega journal, you bookmarked, you could, and you found something in their website that wasn't like listed in the chill subs database or directory, right? You could add a note, a reminder there or something, and save that. I think that's really helpful. And a lot of lit magazine journals have sort of like image either tied to their website or issue covers, for others to see. Yeah, that's like our possible upcoming cover possible. We have a couple different ones in mind, but yeah, we typically put it to a vote. So yeah, but yeah, chill subs is awesome. Let me show you some other ones on here. So I was talking on the podcast about magazines that, are no longer operational or maybe on pause or on hiatus, right? And yeah, so we can look at what some other ones are here. Let's just look at Lit Shark, just an example. This is what it looks like, and I hope they come back. It wasn't like when the editor had posted a message about the status, of Lit Shark. It just mentioned, the rest of 2025, but it's just a break, right? They're not sure, what's going, how they're going to move forward with Lit Shark quite yet. So we're not sure, but I do hope they return, so it has might be defunct here. So yeah. And then it has, report activities. So, if it ever comes back and, um, yeah. And something I will add here, yeah, so, I didn't cover this on Diplomatic, but yeah, so others can suggest edits, but it's typically managed by editors, all of these fields, and others can, do examples, like read examples that have been accepted. And I think that's really helpful, So yeah, I hope Lit Shark comes back again. Yeah. I personally am a fan of, shark related things, movies I mentioned and things like that. But yeah, you're bound to find a lit mag or journal in here through chill subs that, something, you're passionate about or love. I'm just curious, what happens when we type, environment. Yeah, see, environmental creative writing on environmental justice. See, I was just thinking about that. Now, there are more that I'm aware of than just this, but, perhaps they don't have environmental justice in their name or specifically, right? And yeah, and then some others popped up as I did that. But if I just type environment, I think it'll, yeah. So yeah, you're bound to find something, you love. Let's say you love the sea, right? And not necessarily these focus on the sea, but they have, sea in the name, and so yeah, you can see this one is has a bookmark. That's because I bookmarked it totally. So what you can do, see here, I just made an examples for you guys here. So home was just for, Dipty related, ones, our listings, and then rad places to keep trying. That's where I put this one. So you can hit done and then do that. And then you could make, add magazines to a list, and I think it's really nice that we're able to create lists of, keep track of ones we've submitted to or to ones we want to keep trying to submit to. And yeah, it's important to not give up, for sure. But the fees can add up, if it's one that has a fee, right? Then you're like, ugh, so a lot of the most popular filtering option obviously is no fee and pays, right? Those two. But yeah, so yeah, you're definitely bound to find a literary magazine or journal that focuses on something, again, and that you are really love, different subject matter, specific topics. Yeah. um Again, there's a lot of tracking on the back end that goes into chill subs. And I remember seeing in one of their newsletters that they shared this, I think it was a screenshot, I can't remember, a screenshot of a Excel spreadsheet. It was gigantic. And I think, yeah, it was just a really interesting, just how much goes into this. It's hard to keep on top of these listings and to make sure everything's smooth and running on the back end for their team. And yeah, I think the same thing could be said about like Duotrope and some of the other directories. They do the best they can, and but they do a really great job overall, I'd say. So yeah, if you're not someone who writes poetry, there's flash fiction, other, nonfiction, and some of these literary magazines or journals also accept art and photography, have calls for that too. So, you just have to dig in a little bit. And, submittable, some, submission systems, they have, keyword searches for that, specifically too. And even chill subs, you could type probably art, and come across some arts focused lit mags and journals. Yeah, so aliens, I thought there was Alien magazine, but maybe something happened to their listing or something. And yeah, let me reset what I have here. I could be wrong, or maybe it's not here anymore. Yeah, it's not there anymore. So I don't know. Some of the lit magazine journals, I don't know. I thought I saw their listing in here, but maybe something happened there. Or maybe I'm recalling the name wrong. Anyways, you're bound to find something here. I wonder if there's like UFO. Is there any UFO? No. We need more alien literary. I'm just joking. Yeah, so I was just looking up, if you're looking up like sci-fi, let's see here, guys. I'm just curious. Yeah, they have Sci-Fi Lampoon magazine. I was trying to find something science fiction for you guys, but there are way more than this again out there I've come across too. These are just ones with like chill subs listings, right? So yeah. Um, if you're looking for humor, you of course, can type that directly. And yeah, so these aren't all the literary magazine journals that focus on humor, but they come up because of the keywords, right, in their titles and could be in the description of it, I think, too. Yeah, some of them, sometimes the listings have, you can report things like, hey, this logo or this listing has some wonkiness to it. Is it still up, or I don't know. But yeah, that happens from time to time. Every system has things like that, over time. It requires maintenance, right? And things like that. So yeah, I think I came across one time there was a listing where the text was overlaid a little bit, so you can report things to them like that too. They have a great report system, to get a hold of them and contact them through the bottom too if you scroll all the way down. But yeah, there's writing contests too. I think that's really helpful, and you can look up no fee open for submissions, and yeah, indie presses, you can filter by that, search, and yeah. And yeah, so they have book size here, chapbook and novella novel collection, yeah, and mediums. So there are, again, I mentioned this on the podcast, and it's showing 474 publications on Medium. So yeah, you can totally find a home for your work on Medium. There are quite a few out there, several hundreds actually. Who knows, maybe one day Chill Subs will add Substack, also, alongside of Medium here, because there are a lot of publications on Substacks now, or have Substacks too. Yeah, I think that's really neat, and you can again filter it down, by categories, what you're interested in, specific topics and tags. So that's really great. So now let's move into writer profiles. So I'm gonna share mine with you guys. I don't mind if you see it. Yeah, so that's me. But yeah, so they have this looks completely different than it did, when Chillsub started. I didn't have this writer's profile right off the get-go. They created it, a while back, and then they updated it and refined it, and it looks really cool now. So you can add, some of your publications and, your work that's been accepted. You can see my examples. You can easily, edit this and, enter the year, the type it was, was it humor, and, yeah, the names of mine. So yeah, not all of your, some places may not have a chill subs listing and then it'll show up like this, or if some places were no longer in existence, right, they may show up like that. And yeah, so you can edit your profile very easily. The thing about this, right, there's a cap on how many books you can have at a time. It depends on your plan or membership with the chill subs, so yeah, but it's very useful. I even plugged in this project here, the Lit Mag Lab, right? So I have other ones too, but I just eliminated those, because it'd be, I think, just good to focus on one, the most current one, yeah, but and others are found through, Dippy Lit Mag's listings, so I don't have to list all of them out. But yeah, so you can see that I have my pen name alongside of my, actual name and slash nickname, I guess. But yeah, because I don't mind, if others are aware of my pen name or anything like that. So yeah, I definitely recommend, or highly recommend, you create a writer profile on Chill Subs. It's a great way to, connect with, find other writers, or to have others discover you in search results. If they're looking up your name, they can come across your work easily. I've seen some poets just put it in their bio, even on social media. It's very neat, you know. I think it's very important, again, for, you know, if you're gonna take writing seriously, to be very organized. And Chill Subs helps writers really do that, you know, to stay organized. It makes others' lives easier, you know. Chill Subs' existence, no doubt, you know. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys something here. Let me go back here. Sorry guys, I like cut out for a second here because something wonky happened to my browser. It wasn't with Chill Subs, it was on my end. But yeah. So I want to go here. So, you know, if you click on the upper right, and UIs, you know, when site design can change over time, you know, over the course of several years. But as of today, you know, you go in the upper right, you know, community, right? And you can navigate to other things right on the site. Supports here, right? About, and yeah, you can, you know, manage account and stuff. And for editors, right? That's if you're managing your listings, right, as a EIC, you know. And yeah. Anyway, so if you go here to community, right, it takes you out to this. And this is what I'm talking about. You know, Chill Subs has 58,591 writers in here, and that's amazing. Now, I can't remember if it was last year or a while back. You know, they had it where you could bookmark writer profiles and stuff. But you can see Karina's there, right? The co-founder of Chill Subs. And then services, you know, some poets list services and their publications. You can see that, you know, 93 publications. So some poets absolutely and writers absolutely love Chill Subs, and actively use it, you know, quite heavily, you know, for listing their publications, keeping track of everything. You know, it really helps. And yeah, so again, when you make a writer profile, you know, a listing for you will get generated in here. And, you know, let's say someone searches your name, you know, it'll come up, you know, in the Google search results, you know, depending upon, you know, probably how many others have the exact same name as you. But still, you know, it's a great, thing to have a writer's profile on Chill Subs. I think it just, you know, it allows you to keep tabs on everything, you know. Like, I've gotten these acceptances from these places, that happened this year. And I totally recommend, you know, and a lot of poets do this. They have let's go to the tracker here and get into it. But a lot of poets have a Excel spreadsheet or additional tracker outside of Chill Subs, just as a backup in case, you know. And Chill Subs doesn't have every single literary magazine in existence on here too, but what I see is a lot of like color coded spreadsheets and things like that. I have an article, again, on my Substack that I, you know, created on, you know, how others keep track of submissions. Of course, this is listed in there, and a few links to other examples. Yeah, there are some poets out there who, you know, created a template for others to use as well. And you can export this out to an Excel spreadsheet, which a lot of poets do, to, you know, add other fields that you want to as well. This is just a example, examples in here for you guys. So I tugged out all the poem names I have in here, but preferably, ideally, you know, even when we're submitting, you know, through Submittable, it's always recommended that you know, follow the guidelines of the Literary Magazine Journal. Some of them will actually tell you to type out each individual title, add a comma or a forward slash between them. And I think that just helps in general to find poems later, you know, when you're resubmitting them or to other places. Then it's not, you know, just like, you know, if you do something generic like three poems, two poems, right? It's not, you have to create a unique title, is what I'm saying, for your submission or entry, you know, um, because it helps find it later, you know. So just for example purposes, I just plugged in, you know, four poems, and I have submitted to these places. These are actual entries, but I just tugged out the names of my poems in here. So yeah, typically, you know, I recommend, you know, you put the poem title and then your, you know, forward slash poem title and, you know, poem title, some sort of separator between the titles. So you can see you can put the method, the publisher, and this indicates the publisher is not connected to a Chill Subs listing yet. I did hear back from them. I didn't get an acceptance, guys, but yeah, I've gotten a couple acceptances this year, I guess, so that's not too bad. I don't know if I'll keep submitting to places, mainly because of my, schedule with things going on with Dippity or relaunch and stuff. But from time to time, I do, like to, um, I do like to submit and try, my best, absolutely. And yeah, it's fun submitting to places too, and yeah, to find homes for your work. A lot of us, I think, we have some work that we haven't found, that's been sitting for a while that we haven't found a home for it quite yet. So, anyways, so you can see the submission date. You can enter that all in. Let me just click in here and, let's use Fog Lifter example. So you can see, there are, if it's a manuscript or contest, you can change it, save it, add notes, and it's very easy to use. Very simple. You can add notes again, in progress, rejected, or, withdrawn, never responded. And yeah, you can also change this to like a Kanban board, which I really like too. And yeah, that's a really neat, yeah. So I think there's an import feature, but they said don't import anything from Duotrope. Yeah. Read their terms of agreement. So you just want to be careful about that and stuff. You can see grinders and they're submittable. You can do some imports. Yeah. So you can export this to and your own tracking list. These are just examples again for you guys. Yeah, these aren't all the places I've submitted to. I only started really leveraging the tracker. Let's see, this year. Really, I had tried briefly, but then things had come up schedule wise. I was like, nah, and then it's like I started submitting well, in my downtime. I do what I can, but yeah, they have rejection bingo. I haven't filled this out yet, but this is a little fun rejection bingo. Yeah, so I love how I love how Chill Subs has some comedy in their wording. Definitely always brings a smile on my face. Some of their wording on their site. So yeah, the tracker is very helpful again, but a lot of poets have like a backup Excel spreadsheet with you know, uh, filter, well, not filters, but with columns, additional columns, and I have some examples of those, linked out on the Lit Mag Lab Substack. So check those out. There's some templates I linked out to other trackers others have created, Excel spreadsheet wise. But if you're someone who doesn't like working with a bunch of Excel spreadsheets or things like that, and having something very basic, easy to use, and clean, this tracker is a really nice to have. It's and you're in Chill Subs, right? Looking for places to submit work. You can keep track of things all in one place. I really like that. Yeah. So definitely, you should leverage the tracker again and make it a habit. If you're going to create a Chill Subs writer profile, because those tracking stats help other writers write with the acceptance rate, and it helps make that accurate as possible for others. But again, not everyone uses this, but I think it's really useful. So try it, and yeah. So let's go over here to some other parts of Chill Subs, right? So this is where bookmarks are housed. And I showed you, how I bookmarked, a lit mag or journal earlier. These are just examples I have real quick for you guys. So you can see rad places to keep trying. I have a bunch more I want to add. I've only, just started to really dig in more to Chill Subs more than usual, I'd say. And yeah, so let's say I want to, type rattle, right? A lot of us know rattle. So you can just go back here, do that, done, right? And then it adds it as a bookmark. Very simple, very, very easy to use. What's another one? Frozen Sea. Just ones that I've submitted to in the past that I'm thinking of. And I'll do maybe episodes around some of these for fun too, guys. Just share my experiences with some lit magazine journals and my thoughts on their sites and design, and what I really like about them, and other commentary on their sites. So anyways, yeah, so you can easily do that, bookmark things. I really like that. And you can do this, like, don't show me this listing. There's a listing you're not really interested in, right? You can do that. They have that feature that I was just aware of, right? So you learn things every day. Yeah. You can see up here. So let me clear this out here. And yeah, so again, I covered vibe and the filtering and the categories. Maybe they'll add. Oh yeah, so they have again, maybe one day they'll add Substack as a, besides Medium here is what I meant. And the genre here. So if you click on other, this pops up, right? So photography and art, you can filter by that, by the way. I just wanted to mention that. Yeah, comics, humor. So yeah, that's cool. And let's go to list now. So lists are fairly new at Chill Subs. I mean, they've been doing lists for a while, through the Substack and some of their other newsletter publications too, the community publications that they do. And yeah, um, so yeah, you can check out these lists. They're really helpful. Lit mags who love personal essays, lit mags who love prose poems, 22 lit mags to target for social media exposure. They have like all kinds of lists, guys. So now keep in mind, access to these, right? So there's better and different plans, right? So I'm on the free tier. So this, to get access to this, let's see what happens when I click on this. um yeah, so see, it has upgrade here, so you can check out the free list. So with better, their plan, membership plan, you can unlock all the special lists and rankings. And they also have this thing where they, I think, have provided lists to others, where they're looking for places that might be good place or good places for a home for their work, right? They have provided lists to poets too, like services like that. Yeah, so stats backed, they have this too. And you know back there, right, there was staff picks and things like that. So if you better, let me go here real quick, back to the plans. So to upgrade, right, so they have the monthly, and monthly is $10 a month. And best, for better, it's $10 a month. Best is $20 a month here. And you can see Sub Club full access, and I'll cover what this is. Sub Club, again, is a weekly list of lit mags, agents, jobs, and pitch jobs curated, useful, no fluff. And the Forever Workshop, monthly classes from writers and community, and you can get lessons and things like that. And they do have some free ones from time to time. I mean, it's not like you absolutely have to, but I think it's really beneficial, some of their workshops and seminars. I haven't joined into any myself or anything like that, but I know a lot of writers do and really enjoy them personally. So, totally, it's worth it, I'd say, to subscribe or do the plan. Personally, I'm trying to cut back on any cost and things like that, because I run Lit Mag and Press. So as my dad always says, every dollar counts. But I love Chill Subs. I was, a paid member on through their a Substack at one point in time. But again, I was trying to shave down as much cost as possible, because things are really tight personally. But anyways, yeah, so you get exclusive lists, custom lists, keyword search, and yeah. Yearly, you could do a yearly plan, 100 or $200 a year. It's really up to you, yeah. And then it covers here a little bit further, what this entails, each plan, or what you get for, each one. You see best, better, which one it applies to. See here, better workshops versus better newsletters. So yeah, read those when you get a chance if you're interested. Yeah, so it's not too expensive, to be honest, though. I think that's pretty nice, because it's hard to find things, nowadays. And I think Chill Subs does a great job of keeping others up to date, on with lists and things like that. I love lists personally. Whenever I have like tasks I have to do, guys, back when I was working in IT departments and stuff, I would always create like a to-do list for sure, and cross things off. But I'm someone who loves making lists. I've even made poetic lists. Totally, some of my poetic lists got accepted. My humor list, right? Totally, I love lists, guys. So yeah, I haven't shared all of the lists I have made actually in existence. I should do that sometime. Reminder, note to myself. Anyways, you're like, what type of list are you talking about, Chaz? Like, I'm like, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, my Vevniforo list, right? You guys haven't seen those. Anyways, back to chill subs. Um, Events. So that's new. You can see it's new, right? So it takes you out to here. Again, they hold workshops. They facilitate workshops, of writers in the community. Some of them specialize on certain things and lessons that are really, really helpful. So these are virtual ones, Zoom based. A lot of times you can see that July, August, the summer is packed with quite a few. Yeah, so humor sites, best practices, um, an MFA toolkit, everything you need to apply like a pro, how to land a job in indie lit, in August is coming up. Live feedback clinic. I think that's really great. So I think these workshops are really nice for connecting with other writers and meeting with others in the community and things like that. Absolutely. And you can learn a lot from others. I think again, knowledge exchange is so important in the writing community. It really helps others. Absolutely. So I'm all for that. And yeah. So this is fairly new again. I haven't, hopped into any of these or anything like that, but totally check out the calendar and you can look at. I don't know how far in advance they've planned these, but let's see if they have any for September. Is there one here? Yeah, they have it planned out quite a bit in advance, which is nice. September, it looks like they have some too. So yeah, every month, I think these events are really nice, an event calendar. So yeah, check it out when you get a chance. Yeah. Let's go back to here. So I've covered, the database, the profile tracker, bookmarks list, events, and yeah. So again, there's contest in here, and I may have accidentally clicked on. Yeah, there I reset my page. So yeah, um, so it is a really great place to start. If you're looking for places to submit. I have definitely not heard about a lot of. There's still so many lit mags and journals that I've yet to come into contact with myself. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing this project too, the Lit Mag Lab. I want to share more lit mags and journals, and in my spare time. Obviously, it's hard to juggle that and Dippy, so I'm just doing these episodes when I can. And yeah, before we wrap up this podcast episode here, and again, I put these, out on YouTube, but also any place that has video capabilities, right? So I don't think Apple does. So you may just be hearing audio if you're out there on another place, right? So yeah, let's check this out. So, when I was going to the plans and showing you guys, right? I mentioned Sub Club and the Forever Workshop, right? You saw those under Better and Best, and you can get to, the membership again here by click on Do Better. I think it also comes up in another section, so yeah. Yeah, right there, Do Better. I accidentally clicked on Sandbox. But yeah, you see Sandbox. So actually I should cover Sandbox too real quick. So Sandbox, right? These are beta tools. Occasionally they release beta tools, things like that. You can use them, try them out, to give them feedback on them. There's the pros formatter, the submitter's passport, having your bios ready to go, and a cover letter, generator and things like that. So they have a lot of really helpful tools, and some lit mags and journals have examples of what they're looking for cover letter wise. We should actually do this at ours, Dippy too, have examples of cover letter or something there. But anyways, yeah, so this is very useful. The Sandbox, again, this is a beta tool, I believe, and you saw that under Do Better here. So the Sandbox is listed here. And yeah, the monthly plan's not too bad, to be honest. And if things ever change, on my end, I totally would switch to a different plan besides the free tier. But you can do a lot on the free tier still, get I think that's really great that they allow writers, they don't paywall everything, right? They allow writers to really leverage, chill subs, as much as possible, even on the free tier. So yeah, again, part of the best plan, right, is the sub club and the Forever Workshop, but they also have some on the other one too. So this is sub club basically, guys. I'm gonna go out to their Substack here, so you can see they have recently they do these 23, like recently open calls. They do this, and this is really helpful. So you can subscribe to this, maybe join with the membership, and yeah, it's I think they've even had in the past, where they've done discounts, or approved discounts for some writers in community, where costs were, concerned about that or stuff. But it's still very fairly reasonable, to get the membership with chill subs. It's honestly not too bad. Yeah, and the Forever Workshop, this is what that looks like if you're curious, the workshop's events, and you can dig more into this. Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys listening have Substacks, but Substack's great, So Chill Subs has established a lot of different publications on Substack, to really keep others informed and updated, and to provide additional lists. I think that's really great, and about calls and things happening in the community and ways to help both publishers and writers. So that's great. So yeah, check out the Forever Workshop Sub Club. Another thing is the Write or Die magazine. Now, I think they basically joined up with Chill Subs, so it's part of Chill Subs now. Um, and yeah, so they have a Substack or newsletter too, publication. And if you're curious, this is what their website looks like. So they focus on um, short stories, essays, and author interviews. And it looks like they have workshops too and things like that. So yeah, I haven't submitted to them or anything like that, but it looks very cool. I love the names of magazines again, right? It's yeah, so yeah, so you can see some of the interviews and things like that. I think that's really great. It's always good to see examples, right, and things like that. um yeah, so they're very supportive of writers, and yeah, so they have, it looks like, author interviews, no fees, and it helps cover costs, right, things like that. So again, just read guidelines carefully, very interested submitting and things like that. Yeah, and lastly, Chill Subs has the Thread Lit Mag. I think this is really cool. So, it's basically a competition or contest on threads, right? They have calls, right? It looks like they had a numerical call recently. This was 5 days ago. So, I think they announced the selections for that and the contributors. So, yeah, so I think it basically has to, be on threads, right? And yeah, I read some of the ones in the past one, but not all yet. See, repost equals an acceptance. This equals rejection. That's very cool. Yeah, we at Dippity Lit Mag had something like this, but it was across different social media platforms, and we may start this back up again. We predominantly did it around Halloween, like a Halloween social media challenge, where it had to fit, within the amount of characters for each platform. Yeah, so I don't we don't really use Twitter, formerly X, a bunch. Sometimes I go out there just to get notifications to reshare things, because some poets still have accounts there and share stuff, and I check it from time to time. But yeah, anyways, yeah, so we had, we may start it up again and start on Blue Sky and Threads or something, I don't know, but I think that's nice. I'm not logged in right now or anything, but yeah, so this is basically what it looks like. I think that's really cool that they did Thread Lit Mag. It's really nice and awesome micro publishing. And writing short pieces is really challenging, so I love this, absolutely all for it. Yeah, so check that out. You can submit to Write or Die or Thread Lit Mag too. And check out the Sub Club, the Forever Workshop. If you want to stay informed on calls and what's going on, or to grow as a writer. I mentioned workshops are important. Taking lessons and classes. Especially if you're new to the lit mag world of space, can definitely be beneficial. And you may establish friendships along the way and things like that too, totally. And that's what community is all about, helping one another. Absolutely. So I think I've covered everything. I haven't, gone on every single thing. I'm on the free tier, of course, so I haven't like shown every single thing that Chill Subs has to offer. It's much more now than just a database, right? It is so much more now. They have again events, lists, bookmarks tracking system in here, and I'm sure in the next couple of years they'll have a lot more, maybe than this, so yeah, so very cool. Again, I love Chill Subs, I must say they're awesome. Due to my schedule and time, availability and stuff, I just haven't been able to dive into it as much as I want to, or to, I wish I could subscribe to all the newsletters in existence, but it's hard to keep tabs on all that stuff. But yeah, I do pop in from time to time, throughout each month a little bit, and to some of the things going on at Chill Subs and the newsletters that various lit magazine journals run too, outside of aside from Chill Subs. But yeah, Sub Club is very nice. The Forever Workshop, again, they have some content that's not paywalled too from time to time, so just keep that in mind. So I recommend you subscribe or get the membership. If you're not sure, or always try things out before you do a membership. So if you start to like Chill Subs and really use it a lot more and partake in the events and things like that, totally grab one of the memberships. You can do the one of these, absolutely. And yeah, better or best, you can totally probably the monthly plan or something, whatever fits for you. It depends what you're looking for. If you're someone who really wants to attend workshops and virtual events, that may be the membership may totally be beneficial. And you do get some more list and access to things too. And one last thing before we go here. So I mentioned this on the podcast, right? The awards nomination a couple episodes back. So they do have the awards catalog right here. I was talking about it from a editor's perspective on the back end, like listing them out. But this is very helpful, I think, for poets also to be aware of the various lit mags that, or the various awards and nomination events that exist, and also, the lit mags and journals that do partake in these events, each year. So it looks like all awards, there are about 40 in here, and if I scroll through, so you can see, yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, again, you can read more about these events and things like that if you're not familiar with them, but see, again, yeah, so some of these lists, again, are paywalled or by the membership, or not necessarily paywalled, but the membership gives you access to them. Yeah, so that's good, to know, to be aware of the awards catalog list. You can unlock that. But I think also, when you go here in the filter results again, you can, aside from the list, right, there's this checkbox here, right, nominates, right, you can do that too. But yeah, they do have those bundled lists that are really, really helpful. If you're someone who loves lists and things that are all collectively together, totally, it's worth it. And yeah, this is on the better, free tier, what I'm seeing here. So yeah, I think it's really great that they added list and events, and yeah. So I haven't gone through, I think I went through most of Chill Subs, but yeah, so again, their newsletters are very helpful. They do weekly newsletters, across each month too, it's packed with information, packed with calls. You can keep in the loop on things. I think that's really important for writers in the community. If you're a publisher, or running a lit mag or journal or press, again, it is beneficial again to join the CLMP membership for sure. They have newsletters as well. So yeah, Chill Subs does a great job though of really helping writers, who are looking to grow, and absolutely. I think it's nice that they've, have instructors now delivering classes and lessons. And yeah, so it's a great platform, a great database, and it's not just a database. Again, I'll stress that again. They have expanded to so much more. So please do check out Chill Subs. Follow them on social media too. They have a lot of great posts on their Instagram and account. So absolutely, I'm always actively, I may miss the newsletters from time to time, because I'm not on the paid tier membership, but their social media account, they actively post there, and it's a lot of really great information, totally. So check that out, and yeah, that's all, guys. So I hope this episode helped you, and yeah, if you haven't, created a chill sub account yet, totally do that right now, guys. Do it, or when you get a chance, totally, But it's awesome. So yeah, I could go on and on about chill subs and stuff, but yeah, again, if response time is something you can filter by, so you have a lot of options to sort and find things, right? So do a process elimination if you're looking for something specifically, or a certain topic or theme, or theme calls, you can totally do that. It is very easy to do so, again, thanks to chill subs, So that's all, guys. I'm going to sign off for now. And maybe for the next couple episodes, I'll just talk about lit mags and journals like I've encountered and get my thoughts on them, and go from there. So yeah, if these episodes are helping you, let me know, and I can keep doing the series. Yeah, totally. When I have time, of course. So yeah, take care again, and bye.